Now, what do you do whenever you're out in the wild and you're drinking water? If it's coming straight from the spring, you just drink it. It's good. But if there's toxins or things inside there, you're gonna put a flame to it and boil it. And what that does is that just purifies the water, so it's good to drink. And a good indication that our being has to be detoxed from the emotional toxins, from the thought programs, the things of who we think we are and not who we actually are, is every single time that we feel that fire inside of ourselves. Whenever we experience discomfort or uncomfortable, that feeling that you get is similar to a fire. If you pay close attention, your body, whenever your sympathetic nervous system triggers, you get really warm, and it's almost as if we have this such an intimate connection with God, or whatever you want to call it, whatever you believe, that He is going to do us the favor of lighting the fire of our being, so we can get rid of all the emotional toxins and those things that we have accumulated that don't belong inside of our waters. So every single time that we get uncomfortable or feel this feel this fire of excitement or fear, it's God trying to boil the water of the stagnant pond that's being. Is we're all going to stand in a circle, and we are going to move our bodies. We're not going to think about how we're moving, but if there's thoughts, invite those thoughts and embrace them. And what we're also going to do is we're going to make noises. There won't be any words used in this exercise, but we're going to be making noises and moving our bodies. However we feel as though we need to do so. Not what we think, but just how we feel. So we're going to pay close attention to what is happening inside of our bodies, what God is wanting to light inside of ourselves. Because usually whenever we see this flame in our experience, we get taught that there's something called a fight or flight response. I want you guys to throw away that definition, because there's what this is actually, what I want to call it, my definition, is it's called the fight response. It's just we get taught to flee from this feeling of pain or anger or whatever it is. We get taught to run away from it. But what we're going to do is instead...
Congratulations on turning 30.
We're going to invite and win the fight. There's really no fight. The war's already been done, but all the layers, we kind of have to, we fight against ourselves. So what we're going to do is, instead of walking away and being like, oh, I don't want to do this, or not about this exercise, but just in our everyday life, whenever we catch ourselves wanting to walk away from the things that make us feel comfortable, what we truly need to do is just have faith and step into that fire and let God purify the waters of our being, so He can flow through us naturally, so we don't sit in a stagnant pond called our own self-destructive identities. Not that the identity is destructive, but it's kind of a tool that can go either way. Yeah. So, we all ready to do the transformation dance? Now, something to take into consideration whenever we are watching, what we're going to do is we're going to do it one by one, and then we're all going to do it together. But I want you to pay close attention whenever you see someone else expressing themselves, whatever they feel like they want to express. If they want to express sadness, joy, just whatever it is, try to pay attention and see how you judge that other person, and see how that reflects to you. Like, let's say, oh, that's weird. Instead of clinging to that thought and believing it, be like, okay, how is this making me view my own weirdness? Because the exact same meaning that we apply on the outside, we can actually apply it to ourselves as well. So we're gonna all act as like perfect reflections for each other, and we might be able to learn. We're gonna be learning about ourselves through this exercise, through ourselves, but we're also going to be able to learn through other people too, based off of being able to read the judgments that we have, and be able to be like, okay, since I think this is making me feel uncomfortable watching this, does this make how do I judge myself? Do I reject myself? Just certain questions to ask.
Maybe like the same scrutinization we hold on against other people, we hold against ourselves.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. Kind of like how maybe we feel uncomfortable when we see other people crying. And it's like, okay, so how do I feel whenever I'm crying?
Maybe we're afraid to cry.
Do I want to hide that?
Yeah,
maybe because I hold that perception of what I'm portraying right now onto this. I think that's all I got to say about that. All right, I guess we will all stand in a circle to the best that we can.
Come on, let's party, man.
Sounds good.
I missed the first part.
It's a lame circle.
Yeah, I'll move over here.
I don't want to be a part of
Okay,
So-
you're recording.
What we're going to do is one
What's your
by
part?
one, we're just going to
Important part.
move and we're just going to make noises however we feel like we want to do it or how we feel pulled to. And why we're doing something so extreme is not so we can just be extreme all the time, but in the proper context, we need a huge stretch. That way, whenever we're in like situations that aren't even really intense, but our minds make it out to be something so crazy, we can be like, oh, if I did this in front of a bunch of people, yeah.
This is like the high dive.
Yeah.
And after that, it's like all like low jumps, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you might find yourself like being nervous or not sure what to do, but you might be surprised to find yourself with your own thoughts and judgments and feelings that your dance might start to change. You might be like, oh wow, people don't think I look that weird. I'm kind of having a little bit of fun.
You don't judge yourself worse than anybody in the room judges you anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're our own worst critics.
We're gonna get music playing, or just gonna do our own tune? Is that it?
We're trying to make this, yeah. I guess we're gonna just do our own too.
Yeah.
All right, and if by any means, if you don't feel comfortable doing this, you have to honor yourself.
I don't feel comfortable, but I'm doing it anyway.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, definitely.
Breaking on through.
Stepping into things that make us uncomfortable.
Hey, I'm John.
Hey, can we do this?
Johnny, what's up?
Hi, Ben.
Come on, guys.
So how do we do it?
I'll just put that option out there, just so y'all know that this is not something you absolutely have to do. But I definitely encourage you to. But if not, definitely feel free to honor yourself, because you gotta, I guess know our limits sometimes, and know. I don't know.
No, it's
Okay.
what it's all about.
Yeah. All right. So I will go first, and then we'll go clockwise. We might do a few rounds. All right. So that was like 10, 15 seconds. We'll do that, and then we might do it again, and then we probably do it all together.
I'm gonna say I already crossed my boundary for the moment.
You sure
Put
about
myself out there and say, hey, I'm uncomfortable. You should. That's fair enough.
All right. Well, if you feel it's fine, baby.
That's fine.
Okay, here we go. Dude, that was awesome.
That was beautiful. That was awesome.
shit, I forgot I had that. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Oh, God, that helped. Woo!
Shedding away all the way.
It's like winter one.
Alright. Now I'm gonna give us space to do it one more time.
I'm gonna step out.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not leaving, I'm just going outside.
Alright, so we'll get to do that one more time. And part of me was like,
I don't know if I have another one in me.
alright.
It might just be me though. Everybody else should. I feel like I mustered a lot of spiritual intensity there.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Right on. Have
Yeah,
some back.
if you step out for the second round, maybe you can join in
I'll
when we
feel
all do it.
I'll feel it as we get around the circus, but
So,
I don't mean that.
whatever in your mind,
Gives me some
like,
Thank you.
if you want to do the same thing, do the same thing. If you feel as though you had more that you wanted to express, or just want to get the extra stretch of like, maybe I'm not gonna have this many opportunities to do something like this. Maybe this will just make it that much easier when I'm out my everyday, like to break the patterns of me thinking that I have to do all this crazy stuff, and more so implies to like thought patterns, because then we can like shatter through those and be like, wow, I really have nothing to be inhibited by. The only thing that inhibits me is my own perceptions, my own delusions and stories that I tell myself. All right. So we'll try to like push ourselves to the next level one more time, and then we'll all do it together for a little bit, and then we'll be done. Cool.
second.
Just get stung
fell
by
over.
a bee, man.
This doesn't.
Let's see, I have no idea.
Oh, well, I used to love her, but it's all over now.
I guess we'll all do it together now.
But I want to start moshing now. High five to that one.
Yeah, it was good.
This is circle tip.
Yeah, for
Good one, dude. That was fun.
Thank you.
I was involved with programs like this years ago, and they called them image busters. Where you get in front of like a huge amount of people, and you get in the middle of the floor and like howl at the memes, and they're like laughing at you, you know, the whole thing. So that's similar to that in a way.
Breaks those mental programs. Or whatever. Yeah, I seen the value of it. That was
You should put it on
intense.
timer.